Nice to see you again, man.
Nice to see you too, sir.
Thanks for stopping by the BBC for a chat.
Yeah, thank you.
So, I was thinking today, like, where do we begin? Because you've been having some remarkable conversations lately, some really in-depth, really interesting conversations addressing, recent things that have gone on, successes, things that have kind of made people think, talk amongst themselves. And it got me thinking, like, where were we last time? We were 18 months ago, not far from here. And so much has changed in the last 18 months, And the first question I wanted to ask you, because I've always wondered how you felt at that time.
Yeah, I just, I had so many interviews where I'm trying to express that I can create outside of just the music box.
Yeah.
And I'm giving examples of work that I did that was really successful, and I'm just getting completely just shut down. But not just by, the company we talked about last time, but every single company. Every single company you could imagine is just like, no, you are a celebrity. You are not allowed to create. You're not allowed to think. You're not allowed to have an opinion. You're just here to wear a red leather jacket and shut up. And it's true that, as a celebrity, you can help to promote something quickly, but no one wanted to allow me to think or be involved in the product.
Yeah.
And, as I told you last time, I said, I'm a product guy.
Yeah. And it was an electrifying conversation. And I mean, it felt like you were taking names that day. It felt like you were also trying to reach people that day. And what's occurred since, is you have made serious moves into that world. What's happened recently with Yeezy Supply, your deal with Adidas. How has that experience been overall for you now with product out and with people's opinion about the shoes and about what they're seeing? How has that experience been for you? How can you put that into context for us?
I mean, every day when you go to the gym, when you go to work, it's a challenge. You got to work hard, and you have to completely, tirelessly, countlessly, remind people of your vision.
Yeah.
No matter what. So that's the way I'm gonna word it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and we made it to a point where something extremely close, something almost to the level, something past the level of the vision finally hit the globe. And Adidas was a company that was flexible enough and had been used to dealing with creatives enough to allow me to create something that was very close to my heart. They original hip hop,
Yeah, of course. Run DMC, man. I mean, they were right there at the very beginning. It was kind of a perfect partnership when it was announced, not long after. And I wondered, when did the conversation actually begin with Adidas after you started sort of talking about your aspirations and what you wanted to try and achieve in that industry?
That conversation had already started before then.
Yeah.
There was a few conversations with a few companies, with a few sportswear companies, I remember calling John Wexler. It was a certain point where I just felt like I couldn't breathe anymore. Like I had all these ideas, and I felt like I was literally like gasping for oxygen. Because if anyone's creative, like you have this idea of a mass market looking at a celebrity that owns a Lamborghini complaining about something. And anyone that's creative understands that there's no amount of money that can be given to them to make them not want to or have to create.
Yeah. There's no checkout.
There's no checkout, and there's no check to stop you from creative. No pun intended, we say no check. So
it's a good one though.
Yeah. Just even thinking about it, takes the breath out of me, because as soon as we got the opportunity to actually start making things, there were so many ideas. I mean, I look at over 500 images a day on my laptop. And I remember when I went into the whole thing about hypebeast, and I said, yo, people be dissing me on hypebeast. And it's like, wait a second, dude, like, I've been fighting this battle for a long time, since like Universe City. Like, no one has any idea what the meetings were like. I remember, I'm gonna throw this one out here. I remember this one guy that worked for Francois Pinault, the head of Carrying Group, came over my apartment in Paris while I was working on Yeezus, and I had a meeting with him, and it was related to, you know, doing a deal with Puma. And the guy, I actually had forgot about the meeting, right? So I had my jacket on. And it was a jacket I had done with APC, and I was about to leave. So, he shows up at the door, and we go to my dining room table, and I'm sitting with him, and I tell him, like, yo, I made this jacket. And he makes some joke about, you know, you did look pretty hot. I'm happy to know that you put on all those clothes for me. Like,
was he joking, do you think?
He was leveling. He was leveling the conversation.
Yeah.
This is what people do all the time. Like if I meet someone who I respect or I look up to, I will literally like kiss their feet. You know, someone that I know that's put in a lot of work.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of agents, a lot of people who work under the main guy, you know what I'm saying, that will like level. That will try to level you. You know, when they talk to you, they talk down to you. And I'm just sitting there like, whoa. Okay, well, and because I, you know, obviously I have to show them like, hey, I'm working on this stuff and it's coming out good. And this is all I have a chance to work on. You know, like when I worked on APC, I only had 2 times to look at the collection. You know, I couldn't really grab it and dig into it the way I dig into like working on all of the lights or something like that. It's like there's a timeline, a cutoff switch when especially when you're dealing with apparel and the way people make apparel currently.
I can imagine the frustration for you at that moment in time, you know, as you're leading up to what has effectively occurred in the last year, seeing something, like you say, close to the vision you have in your mind. But those early stages, man, that frustration of trying to get those ideas out and just like you said, you know, getting just leveled.
Everyone I talked to would try to level me, you know? And then there was this guy named Herman Denninger that was the head of Adidas. And I say was because he passed away recently. And I showed him what I had shot in Qatar, the Cruel Summer film that was using 7 screens, the surround vision idea, which we've never shown online because you have to experience it in its space. It's the same thing I showed Disney and you know, Universal. I say, okay, this is the next frontier of the way we need to see film, and which I got all no's on that to date. And this guy Herman saw it, and he believed. He believed that maybe I had something more than how big my rap record was in me. He could tell. He knew. He's like, this guy has something to say and to give that's past the current box that he's put in. And he made sure, you know, Herman and John Wexler made sure that Adidas deal got done.
Yeah.
And the deal has nothing to do with the idea of the higher ups in society. The deal is all about the moment when I can bring a shoe to a kid in Foot Locker and get on my knees and take it back to when I worked at the Gap and put the shoes on his feet. That is what the deal is about. The deal is about when the star of a show is a 5'3" girl.
Yeah.
But there's never been a 5'3" girl the star of any fashion show. You know, the deal is when the kids came to 42 locations across the world to see Yeezy Season 1 times Adidas Originals launch. and the excitement that was in that theater. And when they saw that lineup, they saw that brigade, they reacted to it when they heard Wolves, when they saw the Boots, when they saw the Runners, when they saw the Matrix sweaters, when they saw all these things like hitting them back to back to back to back. This is what I fought for. None of this was about me having like a bigger house, a faster Lamborghini. Like, it wasn't about that. It was about these kids having a moment to be themselves, to be a stronger version, of themselves. I make this stuff to empower people. I feel like it's so many things that are made to, to wear the people as opposed to the people wearing it. And I asked my assistant one time, I was like, how do these clothes make you feel? She said, I feel powerful. And that's our main goal. As the song says, no one man should have all that power. No one man should have it. Everyone should have it.
You seem to be totally, a lot more aware of what it is that, in a much sort of like more focused way, you're able to know where you want to be and what impact you want to have, and it feels like you're very attached to the well-being of the people and what they can get out of this, and across the board. And I wonder when that moment kind of occurred to you, because that doesn't happen overnight, but it does lead up to that. And 18 months ago, you were fighting, you were really like fighting to be heard. And now it seems to me like you're very consciously aware.
Yeah, I was still off. I might have some things that are off now, but I feel like in the same way when I came up with All Falls Down, and I was able to differentiate myself from whoever I was trying to rap like at that point, and I found my voice and my message. It's like I felt
that was
like
the moment you felt like that. That was
when I wrote All Falls Down. That's when it was like, okay, this is who I am in the music. This is what I'm presenting. So now I feel like it's funny. I would always say, I want to scope with marble, and it wasn't until I was working on Yeezus and I was learning about furniture, and the fact that I am a rich person afforded me the opportunity to go to French flea markets and the galleries and buy, furniture that gets like charged, that rich people get charged a lot for. And one of the things they had was this Corbusier lamp, Le Corbusier, and it was made of cement and was this beautiful sculpture that it really inspired me because he made it for zoos, so he made it for everyone. And it was made of cement. So it wasn't the material, it was the idea that was the most important. And I always wanted the resources of LVMH or Kering, but it wasn't until I started taking the sensibilities of proportion and color and finishing and applying it to fleece and jersey and French terry, which is a cement in comparison to, the type of materials that Louis Vuitton might use, that I found a message, a voice, a reason to create. It was a futile argument for me to say, hey, everyone, get behind me so I can make another $5,000 jacket that you can't afford.
Yeah.
It's like insane. But now I feel people rallying because they know that I want to fight for an H&M, Zara type concept. And I know that Adidas can eventually get those price points. And I want to apologize to everyone right now because I believe that season 1 might still be in that upper price point. And there's still the words exclusivity, being thrown around. Exclusivity is the new N word. Not nigga. Exclusivity. Am I saying the word right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That is the new N word. Because nothing should be exclusive. Everyone should have an opportunity to drink from the same fountain. The idea of exclusivity is a new colored people fountain concept. And saying we're going to overcharge sneaker culture guys to, drink at the right fountain. We have to reboot our mentality, period, of a generation. It wouldn't even matter if I sold one sweatshirt. As long as the energy gets going and kids hear this and know this, and someone in a position of power or someone that'll be in a position of power in the future has a chance to make a difference. And if they saw that someone who was at their lowest point, grabbing at straws, expressed themselves freely and overcame it through all adversity. All adversity means that they can do the same thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Because the thing is, like, when people hear you talking at times, I think that there's a general consensus from those, because believe me, you're compelling to a lot of people. And you know what you say is I think you have very unique views on things that should be heard. But some people, I think, have thought over time that they've obviously missed the point. They've thought that you're bringing it back to you, but you're actually trying to open it up to everybody else. You know, you're trying to break down that barrier of exclusivity and say, you know, if you have to lead the way, you have to lead the way. And it might not end with you, but maybe if something starts with you, is your point.
And I was using the wrong words. My rap was wrong. You know what I'm saying? I was getting the drink, you know, thrown in my face as opposed to leaving with the girl at the end of the night. You know, because think about the type of shit, wow, shit I used to say in interviews.
Yeah.
And imagine if someone said this very thing to a girl at a bar.
Yes.
Yo, what up, baby? I'm a genius.
Yeah.
It'd be like, yo, who's this guy? No, I'm telling you, I sold all this. I sold this many shoes, da da da. And then she'd be like, yo, chill. Like, gosh, get me out of here already. You know what I'm saying? And that's who I was. And that was that frustration I had, because I'm like seeing like this. I'm looking at this girl. I'm like, man, I know that
we could be good together. This could work.
I know, but I just don't know how to word it.
So I'm messing it up
in the right way. So I'm gonna stumble. I was like the 40-year-old version of just of dealing with like corporations or something. Like, you know,
the 40-year-old virgin of dealing with corporations.
Yeah. I did not know how to communicate at all, and it's like I had my point. My message was, you know, simply like, your egg, my semen, we change the world. You know, and I imagine that's gonna sound wrong too.
That's a hell of a pickup line, man.
I mean, I like saying shit that sounds wrong anyway, because, you know, wrong is okay. You know,
it's okay. It's okay.
We have the right to be wrong sometimes.
Good. That's a great line. You know, I wanted to talk to you when we started talking. You know, a while back, music was on my agenda because, you know, I mean, we've talked a couple of times before as well, and you know, I'm a music guy. I mean, it really drives me, and it's a big part of my life, and over the course of this conversation, you know, I want to ask you at some point what the future looks like and feels like to you, because I'm fascinated, and there's certain things I want to touch on. But I do want to talk about your forthcoming new record, if that's cool. I do want to talk about music, because to me it feels like over the course of that frustration last time, you had to make sacrifices to be heard, and it felt like you didn't really want to talk about Yeezus. You were like, that's cool and everything, but I want to talk about this. And lately, I feel like you're really energized with music in a big way.
You know, after I did the presentation in New York, I was able to get that alien out of my stomach.
Yeah.
You know, like, I was on a flight back in the morning to go shoot the Blessings video with Big Sean and Drake.
Yeah.
And I couldn't have been happier to go and shoot this video with two of the hottest rappers in the game. Well, let's be respectful and truthful. The hottest rapper and one of the hottest rappers in the game. And I fall somewhere in that, you know, in that field. Yeah. So,
getting back to music for a minute, I feel like we're right back there. I got to bring you back for a second. I want to know what we can look forward to on this record. You've talked about cookout music. You've talked about what this album represents. Every record you've ever made has been something new and fresh. You've taken yourself and your craft to a new place. Where's your head at right now with this new album?
Just working hard on it.
And it's fun?
And it's fun. And it's fun to work hard, and we're being inventive, and I've still got some, you know, a lot of opinions and perspectives that I think are important and very can be inspiring to people that fight. And, you know, the college dropout came out of a fight to want to rap, and this new album's coming out of a fight to want to design. And
I wondered about that, because Yeezus was punk rock to me. That was Sex Pistols to me. That was like Public Enemy to me. That was one of those records that stands as we established, you know, an industrial strong statement. And I wondered, like, where the desire is coming from on this record, and without giving away too much, because the proof is in the hearing, the joy is in the hearing, where it's coming from.
I mean, it's a joyful noise unto the Lord. It's like, it is still, the struggle, but the beauty from the struggle,
as opposed to just the struggle.
Yeah, the song Amazing Grace.
Yeah, right.
Coming out of the worst pain possible and making the most beautiful song, possible. I want to perform only one as many times as possible. I could be vilified or misunderstood, and like I said, I didn't come here to be liked. I came here to make a difference. Not particularly just this interview. I'm talking about life. Some people's job, they're very extremely likable, and I think I could figure that out. I think I'm way nicer to people just in general. Mm-hmm. Everyone that I meet, I'm extremely nice. But as soon as people start playing games, I stop. I stop playing games. And at any moment, I can hit that yay button. Mm-hmm. And we can go right back to day one. Because people be forgetting, though. You know what I'm saying? They be forgetting real quick. So... But it's all love and great energy and positive energy, and I just, I like the differences of views and our approach to music. Like when I'm sitting making music with Paul McCartney, and I come in, I have all these lists of complaints. Da 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 da. This happened and that happened. He say, "Yo, man, it's all cool though. How about we make a song?"
Yeah.
And we just make song after song after song after song after song after song.
He is the most, because I've met him many times now, and he is just so tapped into the joy of making music. And he so gets it in the sense that it's like, kind of let it lead you. Let the song sort of lead you to where it needs to go is the vibe I get from him. Like, yeah, let's just see where it goes.
That's what we did. People think that our first two singles don't have drums, but both of those are percussive instruments.
Yeah, totally. That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
It's like dun 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 dun. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So I just want to talk about working with him because I haven't actually seen too many people focus on that, which surprises me. Maybe I'm wrong, but I love the idea of that collaboration occurring, and it's a natural one. Certainly on 4 or 5 Seconds, I think it's one of Rihanna's greatest vocal performances. Period.
She was killing that, right?
My gosh, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like a whole other attitude that I haven't heard from her as a star. Mm-hmm. I mean, she's really got inside that record and wrangled it.
Yeah.
How was it making that and getting that song out? Because it feels effortless to listen to. It almost has like a 70s FM American rock, sort of country rock radio vibe to it. You know what I mean? Like something you would have heard in Los Angeles in '76 or something.
I mean, I liked songs like that when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And I mean, the type of chord changes that Paul does, I don't even understand them. And to be able to be involved with that and
he
make
invented them.
Yeah, exactly. And be able to be involved with writing a song like that, it's just like way next to, like meeting Paul McCartney is like meeting Ralph Lauren.
Yeah, totally.
It's like whoa.
Dude, he's the greatest.
The greatest of their field, period, of all time.
Yeah.
And
you got to say while in a song with them, which is incredible because it's still hip hop. That's what's amazing about it.
Yeah, the whole cadence was trap. Soon as Paul starts playing, I start singing in trap.
Once again, it's the fusion of cultures, which I love. It's what did you call it before when you're talking about Sean wearing Raph and your shoes? You're saying it's you said it's kind of what you said.
Fusion is the future. Period. The mixing of ideas, the mixing of the two lunch tables working together. Humanity. Period. Man, we're one people.
Yeah.
Maybe that's like incorrect English. I'm sorry, Mom. But I went to Louise Wilson's memorial. The greatest fashion instructor of all time. And I'm talking about of all timers.
Educate us, man. Tell us.
Okay, so Louise Wilson was the baddest professor of all time of any fashion school ever. Notorious for not letting people stop at a 7 or an 8, pushing people to a 12. So the first time that I saw one of our students, Phoebe Philo's Celine collection, I was looking at a 12. When I saw McQueen's last show, the Atlantis collection, I was looking at a 12. Christopher Kane's bandage collection, I'm looking at a 12. Elber Albez, I'm looking at a 12. That's the designer of Lanvin, you know, which completely revolutionized the men's fashion sneaker industry. Last time I saw her, we had a dinner at Hakkasan, which is my favorite restaurant in London, and I think she knew that she was going to pass, and she just wanted to give me some words of advice moving forward. And she was asking me about my daughter, asking me about my wife, and she said, so many students, they don't give it their all, and the problem is, soon as they do anything halfway good, when they're 2 years old, 3 years old, their parents clap. Exactly. That's what she said. They clap. And she just looked at me and she said, Kanye, don't clap.
Oh, come on. It's just... How you getting on with that?
I didn't know we were going to lose her. I just... And she told me, she said, thank you for the times where, we came to performances, and this is like really meant a lot to me. She would...
You want to take a minute? We'll take a minute. Let's take a minute. See you, crew. You want to take some time?
Yeah.
No problem.
That's never happened to me in an interview before.
You okay?
Yeah. No,
Alright.
I'm okay. I think I'll be okay.
Okay. We're going to change the subject.
Yeah.
Here we go. One of the things you said recently, which really kind of made me think, was, you said, you really truly believe that you're going to be, the head of the world's first $1 trillion company. And the first thing that sprang to my mind, Kanye, was, what is that company going to look like?
Johnny Ives, who is like, in my opinion, from what I know, Elon Musk included, is like the world's greatest living designer, and has the best mentality, behind design. And I said from what I know, because there might be some others that are great, and there are a lot that are great, but Johnny Ives is the best that I know. But he said that people are so concerned about being first as opposed to being better. So I think innovation gets, almost too much credit in a way. So if we talk about this type of, company, it wouldn't just be a company of innovation, because as Steve Stout told me driving down the West Side Highway one day, there's no money in innovation.
Yeah, he's got a point.
The money is in the repetition, so
it's in the quality.
Yeah, and making something, a better quality for more people.
Yeah.
So it has to be a balance of both. But I've said this a few times, but I wanted to say it right here for people who don't, who haven't read it or have seen it. But I think people think that I pander to fashion particularly, because say, why fashion? It's not like politics, World War, and that it's fashion. It's just a jacket or something. It's just a dress. But I believe that the world can only be saved through design. And I think that the fashion world has, and when I say through design, I know it's some snarky classist editor that's want to take that and says Kanye West said the world will be saved with the couture dress. That's not what I'm saying. The mentality behind design, art is to be free. Design is to fix.
This is important. You're talking about the actual, like you say, the mentality, the purpose behind it, what it means behind the actual product.
Yeah. No politics, just truth. Does it fucking work or not? Irrigation, that's a form of design.
Yeah. What are those conversations like? Because you're in one of the great privileges that you're in, because you push yourself, is that you get to find yourself in rooms with people that push themselves. So the conversations can be pushed, and I wonder what those conversations are like, because I'm fascinated by someone like Elon Musk and his absolute inability to be restrained by boundary. And you are very much cut from that same cloth. What is it like when you guys get together, and do you talk about things as kind of obvious or highfalutin as what the future will feel like, or is it kind of more casual than that?
That's exactly what we talk about. What does Kanye West and Elon Musk talk about? The future.
The future. TM.
So when I put out things that, if I say, hey, I want to work with Miuccia Prada one day on, high school uniforms or something, I just put it out, We just put it out there. If I say, hey, or like as I told Obama last time I saw him, hey, I want you to, I would suggest that you sit with Elon Musk. I would suggest that both of you guys go to China. I would suggest this. I think it may happen.
That's amazing. It must be crazy. Those conversations must be amazing.
I got scared of the idea. Someone call you crazy so many times you start to believe it. And I almost got scared of the idea of like going crazy in some way, but I wasn't going crazy. I was like the only person that wasn't crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like I stand there and I just look like, is anyone else here seeing what I'm seeing? None of you guys are seeing what I'm seeing, or it's just like your Maybach in your house is like that important that you won't move at all.
It's distractions.
That you won't say anything at all in risk of losing something.
Right.
You won't say anything on anyone's behalf at this point. So if you have that ability to do that, to see that, that Walt Disney ability in some way, you have to apply it. You have to use it. You can't be psyched out. Everyone's on our side. I was just in my own way, but everyone's on our side, and everything that I ever said will happen. Just as much as you guys saw that Adidas Originals Yeezy Season 1 presentation streamed to 42 locations, and you saw that front row. The juxtaposition, as Louise said, the juxtaposition of the people in the front and second rows to where the people standing in the show had come from is the fusion. That's and is the future. Right.
Yeah.
It is the shattering of the class system, which is racism. Class is a way to discriminate against people, to hold people down, to hold people in their place based on when their kids go to school, how much money they make, where they drive, where they live, and what type of clothes they have, and how much they have in their account for retirement. To somehow say that this person right here means more than this person. Like I know I tweeted, Black Lives Matter, but all lives matter. Like my doorman is more important to me than any company. He keeps us safe. My driver keeps us safe and goes to work every day. The guy painting the windows, at the house. Now we change them from white to chocolate brown, the architect suggested. He is just as important as anyone else that walks in the house and grabs a glass of champagne. It's no more of this separation of where you came from, your race, financial, finance background, education, talent level, beauty, whatever it is that people use to separate people.
But was that moment, which I didn't want to talk about, but you raised it, and I want to actually bring this up, because you have to learn by experience.
Yeah.
you can't have all those answers straight away. You have to make those mistakes yourself, I think, in order to come to that level of clarity.
And I'm not saying I have answers. I'm just saying these are my current opinions.
Sure.
As I gave my current opinions.
Sure. And I love it.
A year ago. These are my current opinions now.
It's great. And that's all we want is to, that's why I'm asking questions so you to hear your answers. But I mean, from I think. Because I was nominated for that album of the year as well as part of the Sam Smith album, right, as a producer and a co-writer.
Oh wow!
Right, so I was at the award ceremony with the other producers and co-writers that are part of each record, and like I'm a huge fan of all of the nominees that were nominated, and I'm a huge fan of Beck. And it's funny that you talk about everyone you want to get it to a place where people can exist in their own terms, and that leaves it open for fusion. But then, like you say, you can press the button and be back and be old yay, old Yeezy. Is that what happened that night? I just can't take it. I've got to get up on that stage. I've got to say that. I've got to wild it out. Because we all thought you were joking. The only I thought was brilliant about that night, when you did it on the night, I was applauding because I was like, that was Sun Tzu. That was Art of War. He waited for the right platform, went up, pretended to do it, walked back down. Everyone's like, oh, it's so funny. I was like, man, he just got the last laugh on this. And then I woke up the next morning and it was like, nah, he's not an artist. And I was like, oh man, I love that album.
Yeah, I never said he was not an artist.
Oh no, okay, I'm misquoting you, but yeah, you're talking about artistry. Yeah. And do you learn from those lessons yourself? Is that when you kind of get a little bit closer to understanding what it is you believe is really important? When you do things like that and you go, maybe I did kind of misconstrue that.
I think I misconstrued it, but I think everybody has the right to an opinion. Mm-hmm. Everybody has the right to be wrong. There could be a lot of people who feel Marshawn Lynch should have been handed the ball, but there's a bunch of Patriot fans that are happy he didn't get the ball. And everyone has a right to their opinion.
Yeah.
And I express my opinion, and I'll take the weight of it.
He's great though.
He
is great though. You should definitely. There's 3. Yeah. We got
as I said, on the Charlemagne interview when I was ironically having dinner with Taylor Swift.
I can believe that.
The Beck song starts playing, and I was like, wow, this is really good. Maybe I might have been wrong.
It's a great album, man.
And I hadn't been in 6 years. And the Grammys are definitely like an ex-girlfriend. As soon as you get in the car with them, you want to go right back home.
So we're going to get a record this year, and I'm excited to hear it. I really am excited to hear it. And as we draw closer to the end of this particular talk, I want to do it once again, bring it back to like the thing that really.
Other one thing I want to say is people say I'm a hypocrite, right?
Some.
People say that, right?
Some.
Yes, I am. 100%. I'm a human being. I'm super hypocritical. I can feel something one time, and completely a different way another time. I do it in the design office. I do it in the studio. I'm super hypocritical. I really love this. I do it when I get dressed. I love this. I hate this.
How long does it take you to get dressed on a daily basis?
3 minutes. 2 minutes. Bars.
How long does it take your wife to get dressed every day?
Sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes longer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's a woman.
Of course.
Yeah.
It seems that what I love about Only One is the interaction and the way that you've been able to create different generations of your life and of your family communicating with one another through one another as a portal. And I love that. And I think it's one of those songs that successfully does that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a father, you're a father. It's the greatest thing of all time. No question about it. It is the great level of all time. It's the greatest thing of all time. And your daughter was what, 18 months now? 18 months old. You're an only child?
Yes.
Do you think about giving her brothers and sisters? Do you think about your upbringing and what you went through and how you feel in this life and what it means to have siblings?
Oh, I'm practicing really hard. I try as many times a day as I can. Nori, this one is for you. You need a sibling.
For all the good ones and all the ones where everyone's like totally engaged with everything you're saying, for right or for wrong or whatever, I think you've got it totally sussed. I think, you know, you absolutely know that you've talked recently about being the villain. Like, how, you know, everyone wants the villain and then everyone does well when the villain opens his mouth kind of thing. But then at the end of the day, you know, you can go on another interview and you can show a really softer side and a very understanding, very like human side that people who know you will tell me that you totally are 100%. And it's so funny. It goes from like, oh, boo, it's like, yeah, it's like, boo, it's like, yeah. And it's like, I think you got it sussed. I think you know exactly what's going on all the time with all of this.
You win some games and you lose some.
You win or you learn, right?
Yeah, you win or you learn. Bam, there's a jewel. I'll take that one with me.
Right on, quote book. So album this year, Sneak Attack, no doubt, no question. Sneak Attack's coming, and there was a leaked poster that came out as well. You're going to tour with Rihanna? Is that out there now? Has it been confirmed or not confirmed, or what the story with that is?
I don't believe I'm supposed to confirm or not confirm.
And I've been long enough in the tooth to know what that means. But needless to say, you're excited about returning to the stage in some capacity this year, and we're looking forward to new music this year.
Yeah, and I've been doing a few performances since the SNL performance. Did a couple performances out here, and of course, we're gonna do the Brits. I've been really liking these performances. You know, I feel like these are like the performance version of that, you know, Drake, you know, of the Six God album of the, you know, if you're reading this, then it's already too late. You know, I feel like I'm, you know, a visual extension of what he's doing, like sonically.
Can we talk about Drake for a second? Because he's just, to me, he's the monster at the moment out there.
You know, that shit is good, yo. It's like,
dude, 6 p.m. in New York.
Yeah.
That moment when he's like opening up and telling the truth about how he feels about his detractors, and he's just basically just opening up what's going on in his mind, real honesty. Mm-hmm. Not guarding himself or hiding away with any bravado or anything. Just like, you know, they scream my weaknesses and whisper my accomplishments. Like, I mean, that moment for me is just like, oh, that's what I mean. I love that about him, that he's totally open in that sense.
I mean, yeah, that element is great. You know, it's a lot of people who can't rap that can do that. But the main thing is the fact that he's delivering, you know, a level of product. As I said last interview, I'm a product guy. And he's delivering a level of product to humanity that is of high quality.
High quality.
It works. 80% of the time works all the time.
It doesn't make sense.
But it works. It works. You know what I'm saying? And you have to, you know, it works.
Yeah.
That's it. And like, I was just thinking, like, you know, I don't have any advice for this young man, but what I can say is run, fly, go as fast as you can. Don't stop. And, you know, anytime I can be of any service, advice, you know, a beat, verse, you know, whatever you need. You need some, like, confidential, you know, design advice on shoes you're doing over at the other company. I'm not supposed to say that, but, you know, anything that we can collectively do to deliver more awesomeness to the world as a team, you know, not just me and him, us all.
Thanks, man. I always love talking with you, bro. I really do. All right, we're good. Thank you, everybody.
Got some vibes?
Love it.
Bars.
More bars.